G'day everyone and welcome back to NS2HD. I have had a lot of comments and messages on my channel and in my inbox asking me for an alien perspective game in Commander View, so I'm going to bring that to you all right now. This is a Build 160 game on Rockdown. I think it's about 17 minutes long, yep. And I spend the whole time in Alien Commander View. Now, as usual, I'm going to comment on the initial play-by-play before I delve into more general things. The first thing I've done is ask the team to go to West Wing, and I've brought a drifter straight in there, and at some point I'm going to drop a whip there. Going back to the hive just to grab some more drifters there, scrolling over instead of clicking on the minimap. I do not know why. They're also going to place a crag. See the skulk going to work straight away on the power node. I was asking for that over the microphone. It's lucky you can't hear my microphone because then there'd be double voice, but the bad thing is you don't know whether or not I'm lying when I actually say I was asking for things over the mic. Always helps to be polite as commander, especially in the early game, because you really need the team to move out as a team, and the first thing I was asking was please, please, please go to West Wing, kill the power node, keep the Marines out. I've dropped a crag in there, and there should be a whip in there as well. Not sure if that's been dropped yet. And the power node is out, so the idea behind getting West Wing really, really fast when you are the alien team on Rockdown is you prevent the Marine team, you deny them their easiest expansion, and without an expansion they can't tech up, and it's basically just the standard alien tactic on Rockdown. Lock them into their base. Here, this is the Marine spawn from Alien Commander View. I have three skulks in here at once, and already Delta 1 saying, Zzz, I think it's going to be a short game, and I agree. This is looking very good for the alien team already. We have locked them into Marine spawn, and it's barely a few minutes in. Skulks still running around in Marine spawn. Now, as commander right now, I was trying to get more harvesters. I cancelled that harvester because I saw there was a Marine in the room, so I did not want... That's auxiliary node, I believe. I didn't want to drop that auxiliary node, res node, because of that Marine. So instead, I'm going to turn around and drop a whip. But that was a bit silly, because that Marine, when he turns around, will be able to kill that whip from a long range. Not sure what was going on. I think I was a little bit rusty when I commanded this game, but hey, it seemed to go okay. Note that the Mac there is trying to restore the power node. I am going to deny it completely by dropping the hive. I have 22 carbon at the moment, so that drifter should come in and at some point drop down to 2 carbon as I drop that hive. Hive's costing 20 carbon. There it goes. That hive has been dropped while I was not looking at it, as the carbon has dropped. Constantly producing drifters out of these hives. You can see I'm creating as many as I can. They cost 50 energy each. Not quite sure. I think it's 50 energy each, just like a Mac. The difference between Macs and drifters is you need lots of drifters, because every time you make a building you lose one. There's my whip and my crag in West Wing. Note the whip placement, designed to make sure that when Marines come around the corner they get whipped in the face, and makes it hard for them to snipe the whip around the corner from long range, because whip range is, I'd say it's about 12 feet, if you could measure 12 feet in a game. That's how far a whip will be able to hit. Skulk's also going to work on the power node in node reserves, and I'm going to be dropping that whip again. I dropped a whip earlier, wasted the 10 carbon on it, and it was killed just as the power went out. Now, these Marines are doing exactly what I'm talking about. They are getting in there and trying to kill that whip, but luckily one of them closes in, and the whip is able to hit him around the corner. I'm not going to say the name of the player that is killing all those Marines, because it's a little bit inappropriate, and I'm trying to keep the channel PG rated. So, I will hereby refer to that player as Awesome Player, and if you can read his name, well, I guess you'll just be able to tell yourself what the name is. Note that I have not upgraded the hive yet. Still only 3 eggs, I think 5 eggs spawning out of that hive. Skulk going to work on Central very nicely. At this point, I asked the team, guys, I don't really have an objective for you, just apply pressure. I'm going to try and fortify west. I'm going to try and fortify east. At some point, get the hive up in east, and we're looking in good shape. So all we've got to do is not mess it up, and we will win this game. Because when aliens have 4 hives, then the wrath of the Kara will come down on the Marine team. The lights go out there as the power node in node reserves goes out. But even though the power is out, random 714... Sorry, I got disorientated when the power was out. The power was out in auxiliary node, I believe that room is. And random 714 going to work on the whip that I placed yet again. That drifter is hovering above that res node instead of building the harvester because I do not have enough res. Now it's ticked up to 16. It needs 15 carbon to build a resource node. And I think I've had other ideas. At this point I decided I wasn't going to build that resource tower. I was going to retreat because there were marines up in central, maybe Skulk running by there. Hopefully he can apply some pressure there and get them off. I think I was trying to save up at the moment for the hive. Instead of placing that harvester, I decided it would be better to get the hive. The gorge, a gorge has placed 3 hydras over there, which is really useful. Now here, 2 marines coming into this room here where I want to place a hive. This is east hive. This is basically the alien natural expansion is this room. I took west first because I wanted to prevent the marines from having any chance. I've jumped out of the command chair because I wanted to secure east wing, this room here, which is only accessible by the marines from central. So you can't get from east. So you can't get from auxiliary nodes straight into east wing as a marine because the vent obviously is designed for skulks. I do not know why I decided to evolve here, but what I was thinking right now is I had too much plasma to be using as a commander, and when you're alien commander, there's not a lot to spend your plasma on because everything costs carbon. So I decided I'd jump out and fortify this area with hydras with my spare plasma, so that then I could jump back in command, jump back in the hive to be commander and have some fortifications already placed, because I wanted to fortify this area but I didn't have the carbon to place lots of whips and crags, so I'm going to use hydras instead. And really you need to use hydras, whips, crags all together, because on their own they can't do anything. Crags heal, whips deal with close range marines, and hydras deal with long range marines. Trying to kill, what was that? I think that was random 714 there, taken out by my Skulk friend. I've dropped now, I think, 4 hydras there, just as the lights go out in this room as we finally get rid of the power node in our natural expansion. Expanding into East Wing does not need to be your priority when you are the alien commander, because it's more important to secure West Wing when you are commanding on a rock-down game, because West Wing is the expansion that gives Marines the opportunity to tech up, and you do not want Marines to tech up because flamethrowers and grenade launchers really, really hurt, especially flamethrowers. They're kind of hot and they burn. Finally having the res, while I was away being a gorge, the resources, the carbon ticked up. I lost really my strategic overview, but it was worth it because it stopped me spending carbon, and carbon even, bit of a pop there, carbon even, now I've got 40 carbon and I can drop that East Wing hive, so that should be going down any second now. Oh no, the drifter's a little bit bugged. This drifter was being a little prick. What's he doing? No. Sometimes drifters will not obey you, but usually if you just tell them to do it 3 times, they will do it. There you go, that hive is up. So now, Alien Team has 3 hives. We have Alien Start, we have West Wing, and we have East Wing, and at some point we will probably try to secure Central. I probably get the Harvester first, though. Resources now in Build 160 definitely a lot more scarce than they used to be. You can tell that when I'm commanding and recording, there is not so much action on the map because it's such top down. And I think this was a 7v7 game, so it was pretty intense. One Marine, notice I dropped an Umbra there. That's when you click on your Crag and you press Umbra, it takes 30 energy. The Crag can have 100 energy at a time. I popped that Umbra out of the Crag because it stops 1 in 2 bullets, and there is a Marine going to work on those Hydras. So, in combination with the Crag's ability to heal the Hydra, notice the green sparkly stuff, green gas coming out of the Crag, that is healing up those Hydras, and also got a Spore Cloud covering them as well. Spores coming down to the end of the corridor, courtesy of a lurk, forcing those Marines to retreat back down the corridor. Me dropping a second Crag down, I wanted to make sure this defensive position held. This is a very powerful defensive position. There are 4 Hydras at various spots. There are 2 Crags and 1 Whip, so very hard for the Marines to penetrate without flamethrowers and grenade launchers. And over here, this is our other front. This is East Wing with 4 Hydras that I placed earlier, and there are another 2 Hydras in the West Wing hive room, so definitely some very strong defenses here. It would take a concerted Marine attack, some very, very good teamwork to be able to break through there. Not impossible with 7 players. 7 players, you can bring down a lot of firepower. If only, say, 2 Skulks and a Lurk were over there in a Gorge, 7 Marines coming down on that, using their pistols to take out Hydras, switching up to primary weapon to kill alien lifeforms, they could break through there, but it really is hard to get that kind of teamwork on a pub game, so for all intents and purposes, that fortification is pretty much impregnable. when the Marines do not have any extra tech. So their only opportunity at the moment is Central. They would have to get through and take Central and defend it. But remember, if you're a Marine and you want to take Central, you have to defend both Auxiliary Node, which is the room below East Wing, where I am right now, and you have to defend the Central tech point as well. So it can be attacked from two places, so it's very, very much more vulnerable, and it's further away from Marine spawn. So generally just not a good idea. However, the Marines are trying just that. So it's really good I introduced that because they are dropping an armory. They have a Mac on the power node back in there. I'm not sure why I'm taking my attention away from that critical battle. I need to get back there because it's very important not to allow the Marines to get into auxiliary node right now, because if they do, they could fortify it and then push forward to Central and then get technology. Never discount a Marine team. Don't get lazy, because they can do things like this. Looking for drifters at the moment. A lot of my hives were low on energy. I've been using a lot of drifters. And at some point I'll be researching Drifter Flare. I'm not sure when I will do that, but I need to do it very soon, because Drifter Flare is an exceptional ability. I use that a lot later in this game, so you'll get to see it a lot. Another ability I didn't use enough in this game was Whip Fury, and the reason I didn't use it is I'm not sure what it does. I need someone to tell me in the comments what it does, or I need to ask on the forums or something, because it looks like a really cool ability, but I do not know what it does. Not enough carbon to do much at the moment. I'm trying to drop a crag down here, just trying to find a spot where it'll fit. The game will not allow you to place structures too close to other structures, so I'm finally setting on a spot to place it there. That drifter is going to disappear and turn into a crag and allow me to heal up those hydras in that room and maintain a defensive position. A gorge has got into the roof space above West Wing as well and fortified that, so that's really good. I have also at some point upgraded to a hive mass, and I think just then my Drifter Flare research completed. So I spent 20 carbon will get you Drifter Flare. Very, very, very good ability. Fade going up against a Marine in this corridor, getting that Marine also getting some support from down in auxiliary node. Will the Fade be able to kill it? Fade down to 50% health, blinking back to the hive to heal with both the crag and the hive. So lucky I placed down that crag, because it has allowed that Fade to heal up very quickly. No doubt he'll be going back into combat as well. Lurk flying around in Central, and I'm bringing a drifter up here. Not sure what I'm going to try and do with it. That drifter was going to go down very, very quickly, but I did get a drifter flare off. You will see me get points occasionally, randomly, in the middle of the screen. Watch this. Here we go. Coming in. F will activate drifter flare, and bang. Drifter sort of pounces forward and then just disappears. The Marines see that as a flashbang. Anyone who's played a lot of first-person shooters will be familiar with flashbangs. They blind the Marine team. You see Delta saying, "What the expletive?" He's saying, "What the expletive?" because he just got blinded in auxiliary node. And again, using the Drifter Flare. Oh, and I had a little bit of a glitch there. Me just telling Delta that it's a Drifter Flare on the text chat. I got flashbanged as well. I'm not sure how that happens. I think it's a little bit of a glitch in build 160, the commander getting flashbanged by his own drifter. But there, didn't happen. Got 6 points for flashbanging some people with the drifter flare, and I'm just continuing to pump drifters out to do this. And the reason I'm doing this is because we have a Fade, a Lurk, and a couple of Skulks in this room, and we are pushing back the Marine attack. You can see they've got power, they've got an armory, they've got an extractor. There you go, 8 more points, another drifter flare, Marines blinded, and allowing the alien team to go to town on them. Because if they can't shoot you, you're in trouble. Now, I think at this point, sometimes it will glitch, and you will blind your own team as well. But it's more if you've got a Skulk and a Marine in a room and they're both blind, I'd much rather be the Skulk. The Skulk can just run around up the walls while he's blind, and then drop on the Marine with surprise once he gets vision again. So much more dangerous to be a blind Marine than it is to be a blind Skulk. So still use it. I think in future it will be fixed up and it will only blind Marines, or maybe it's intentional, I don't know. Right, bringing more drifters in here, bring a whole pack of drifters in because I have 41 carbon. So I want to place this hive. Fade retreating back through Central, all looking very, very good for us at the moment. Dropping one crag down. Oh, Drifter's deciding to be a little bit naughty. That Drifter obeyed my order and is dropping the hive. Not sure what this Drifter's deal is. There we go, dropping a crag. I want that Fade to be able to heal up in Central and not have to retreat all the way back to East Wing to be able to attack auxiliary nodes. But this battle is just generally looking very, very good for us. Also placing down a crag and a whip in there, so getting more and more drifters. I should have hotkeyed. I'm trying not to hotkey though when I commentate and record, because I think if I hotkey, you guys won't be able to follow what the hell I'm doing, and it'll be a bit like StarCraft. in that everything moves so fast you just don't know what's going on if you're not familiar with StarCraft, which was me when I first started watching StarCraft commentaries. So, Crag down, and now placing the whip down. The Crags are creeping forward. Notice I've been placing Crags closer and closer to their eastern flank so that my life forms can heal up more and more quickly. Reduces the distance that they have to go back to the hives to heal up, so always good to creep your Crags forward, and this is looking like a pretty solid attack happening on the eastern side. We have a Lurk, a Skulk, and a Fade moving in, and all they have to do, 2 Lurks as well. That's very, very, very dangerous for the Marine team. Coming up in the east, Lurk moving into Marine spawn, going to be able to do a lot of damage. Marine bringing in a Drifter as well. I'm either going to go for a Drifter flare in here, or I'm going to drop a whip. I'm going to drop a whip right next to the command station. Will it be able to go up? Fade going to work on the infantry portal while the whip starts to grow next to the armory. That is a very dangerous place for a whip because Marines might not see it before they get round the command station. The commander jumping out because he knows he has to kill this whip, so he starts to attack the whip. He'll probably be able to kill it before it can do much damage in there. And another 5, 6, maybe 5 Drifters coming in. Marine desperately trying to chase them down and kill them. Very satisfying to kill Drifters. They're very easy to kill as Marines well. Oh dear, I got 1 or 2 flashes off there, and another couple went down to Marine pistol fire, but generally just blinding all the Marines in this room to make the job easier for my alien teammates. Got 1 more Drifter, he's going to flashbang as well, so 10 points there. More and more blind Marines in this room, and another Drifter coming in, so another Drifter flare, just abusing the Drifter flare there, and just blinding the Marine team completely so that their defenses fall. They have no sentry guns in here, so it's all up to them to defend their own base. All they have left is 1 armory, 1 infantry portal, a command station, and an extractor, and that Drifter I just flared because it was going to die anyway, so I decided I may as well flare it. I'm not sure what the cost of the flare is, apart from the fact that you lose the Drifter. So if you only lose the Drifter, I guess that's a 30 energy cost from the hive to use a Drifter flare. More and more Drifters coming in, and there goes the power. The power has gone down in Marine start. Someone has taken out the power node, and there's Lurk gas coming down, and I'm dropping things with Drifters, so that's a Crag. I'm dropping a Crag in the middle of Marine spawn, so now the entire map is without power. The infantry portal has been destroyed, and the only player left is the player in the command station. The only Marine left is the Marine left in the command station. Just to add insult to injury, I am dropping a whip down next to the command station as well. This has to be GG for the Marine team. All they've got is 2 armories, an extractor, and command station. No, 3 armories, sorry. A little while ago I said they had 1. That was a bit silly of me. There we go. Muddle taking down the final Marine there. That is it. That is GG. And just at that moment I researched armor level 2 from the Crag. I hope you've enjoyed this video, everyone. I hope it's giving you a little idea of what it's like to be an alien commander. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.